So for those of you picking this up on the instant replay, you just got ripped off because you missed an extraordinary intro to no flyaway pinky practice. We're on the F, and I was actually, I might as well take it all the way down to the bottom there. There's no reason. We just did G, G7, and A minor, and so you'll get the idea here in a second. So we do F, and again the pinky is just kind of wedged right in there with the ring finger. Put it down, first string, 3rd fret, pull it up, beautiful way to add some extra texture to your F chord. And let's do down up, down up. Okay, now I've been teaching this, preaching this, pushing this for years. Of course, I don't get to see you, so I don't know if anybody's actually doing this, but in the 100 Days Challenge, I would watch people and how they, what songs they were performing, and a couple different times I saw people reach their little pinky out to play E minor. They would play a G, and their pinky was wed to their ring finger, and they would reach their pinky out just a scooch. And I would comment in the comment section of their performance, hey, great job with the pinky E minor. I don't know if they appreciated that or not. But I always like to see that. And somebody called it a hack. Said, don't you love these ukulele chord hacks? But that is kind of a nice thing. Later on with Atlantic City, we're going to do E minor to G. So you just form your G and then add your pinky, and already you've got the E minor. We're going to go. But we're going to do it as part of a chord, single chord sharing both. So we're going to do down, down, up, up, down with the E minor, but we're going to lift on the up. So that up is your G. Well, they blew up the chicken man in Philly last night. Blew up his house too. That was a preview. So that's kind of fun. And then the last one, this is interesting because this just had me laughing when I was practicing this. So here you would start with your pinky on your 1st string, 3rd fret, beautiful C chord, and then you would layer a G over it for your G flat diminished chord. 3 fingers off, pinky down, but that doesn't really support the rest of the exercise. So what I was trying to do is do my C and then pick my pinky up, layer down, you know, and wedge the pinky with my ring finger. Layer down my G form on those top 3 strings and then put my pinky back down where it's supposed to be. But my pinky keeps doing this bounce thing, so it's not easy. I'm not saying this is easy at all, but so you do C, then pick it up just a little bit, boom, it jumped. It jumped again. That's the flyaway pinky. And this is supposed to be no flyaway pinky exercise. Let me see, C. Oh man, I've got to concentrate so hard when I pick them all up. It so wants to just do a little extra little hop, skip, and a jump, which is why when we're playing songs that incorporate a C and then a diminished chord, why it's great to anchor that pinky as your anchor and then just layer something over it. Like if you're playing an F and then you're going to go to a diminished chord, play your F plus a C and then just layer the diminished chord over it. But for the sake of this exercise, it's C, bring them all up, try to put them all down. C, all up, down. Oops. Anyway, that's the pinky. Wedge your pinky, so we'll pay attention to that, and that will come in handy later. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, Folk-americana. Let's do that. Richard and Linda Thompson, they were a force. They split up in the early 80s. They were a force. Fairport Convention was a group in the late 60s and 70s, and Richard started that. And then he did a solo career in the 80s, and up till now, he tours regularly and shows up at Freight and Salvage. And let's see, what do we want to do there? There it is. But he didn't record this one until maybe 1991. So it's kind of hailed as his return, like he's finally back. One of those things, highly acclaimed. Anyway, let's try that. Let's try that. And lo and behold, there's some sus chords here. So keep an eye on a pinky, although there's a G sus2. There is, which is just, your G without your bottom finger. G sus4 is going to have you do that, that exercise that we just did. He does this so fast. I just posted something on Facebook last night. He does this so fast. Boom, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. He's such a great strummer. But the essence of it, so I'm going to give you the boiled down essence. And if you want to turn it into something phenomenal, watch him. Just Google or Wikipedia, Facebook, YouTube. Just type into YouTube Richard Thompson, 1952, Vincent Black Lightning, and just see him go nuts. There's a great video of him. It's like a writer's showcase, and he and Suzanne Vega and Loudon Wainwright III are sitting on stage. So if you Google it, if you look it up on YouTube, and you see that as an option, take a look at that one, that live, him playing it live, because Suzanne Vega, after he's done, is just looking at him like, and I've got to follow this? Don't make me do that. How did I accept this invitation? So, a chord is a downbeat, like the G, that's your first downbeat. A dot is a downbeat. So that's just 2 beats. G sus4 and a dot is 2 more beats. G, G sus2, and I've always done this as a down, up, down, up. But there's no reason why, especially as we get into the song, like you're going to have a D with 4 beats instead of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. There's no reason not to do it a regular 4-beat strum. Lots of different ways to skin a cat. Let's take a look. And the trickiest part of it is that he does it so fast. If you're trying to study where he makes his breaks and how many beats he gives each section and each lyric, it is really hard to get it screwed up because sometimes he does a regular 4 beats and then he moves on to another chord. Sometimes he does 6 beats, sometimes he does 8. And so if you take a look at the first line said, "Red Molly to James, that's a fine motor ride." So that's 6 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Said, "Red Molly to James, that's a fine motor ride." So if I did a 4-beat strum, I would have to add a down, down, up to that for that 5th and that 6th beat. Fine motor ride. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Then 10 beats for the C. So I do 2 4-beat strums. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Before I switch to the G. This is subject to your own interpretation, of course. And you can shorten or lengthen the song. I originally had a lot more beats in a lot of sections because I just kind of carried out the lyric, which he does. He sings he's English, but his dad was a Scot, and he sings in a kind of a brogue sometimes, at least it sounds like that to me. And he carries out some of the lyrics really full and vibrato. So you can carry them as long as you want. Let's just do the first section. Forget the intro. Said, "Red Molly to James, that's a fine motor ride. A girl could feel special on any such ride." Said James to Red Molly, "My hat's off to you, Vincent Black Lightning, 1952. And I've seen you at the corners, cafes it seems. There's quite a few where it's just a quick 2 beats. Cafes it seems. Red hair and black leather, my favorite color scheme. Favorite color scheme." And he pulled her on behind and down to Box Hill, they did right. So there's not, the chords are fairly straightforward. E minor might be a little bit tricky for some folks. But the chords aren't tricky, it's just how you fit the lyrics within whatever strumming pattern you decide to use. Second section. I did E minor. I got my pinky's not flying away, and it's right up there ready to do an E minor. I just did G and E minor instead of G and G sus4. Okay, second section. 1, 2, nice and slow. Said James to Red Molly, "Here's a ring for your right hand. I'll tell you in earnest, I'm a dangerous man. I fought with the law since I was 17. That was another section where it's 6 beats. I fought with the law since I was 17. Robbed many a man to get my Vincent machine. Now I'm 21 years, I might make 22. Don't mind dying, but for the love of you. And if fate should break my stride." 6 beats on the E minor. If fate should break my stride, then I'll give you my Vincent to ride. strums for those two beats. Come down, down, Red Molly, called Sergeant McRae, for they've taken young James 80 for armed robbery. And again, that was 6 beats on that C. Shotgun blast hit his chest, left nothing inside. Come down, Red Molly, to his dying bedside. And now I'm just doing down, down, up. When she came to the hospital, there wasn't much left. He was running out of road, running out of breath. But he smiled to see her cry. Said, I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Said, James, in my opinion, there's nothing in this world like a 52 Vincent and a red-headed girl. Now Triumphs and Nortons and Visas won't do. They don't have a soul like a Vincent 52. He reached for her hand, gave her his keys, said, I don't have any further use for these. I see angels and Ariels in leather and chrome, swooping down from heaven to carry me home. Gave her, you're playing a G, and your pinky's not flying away, and you see it E minor. Gave her 1, did you do it? Gave her one last kiss and died. He gave her his Vincent to ride. Now, Richard Thompson, when he finishes this off, he just starts banging away at his guitar. Boom, 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 boom. So it's just 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could have finished it any way we wanted to. We could have done it. Some sus4s and some sus2s. Just have fun with it, but I like to finish it sometimes if I know how the artist finishes a song. Kind of nice to do what they're doing. Who's got questions out there? Richard Thompson, a London guy. His dad was a detective for Scotland Yard. But his dad was a Scot. So what's this got to do with Folk-americana? The very first song. Well, it kind of sounds like a folk song with the love of his life and a motorcycle and stuff like that. Plus, we never play it, and I wanted to showcase it, and that's the way this goes sometimes. We all doing all right? Everybody okay? Yeah, I know. Okay, no talking. Now this is kind of a folk-americana. It's from the late 60s, so maybe when you think folk-americana, you think 1800s, O Shenandoah. But, I wanted songs that were kind of folky, number one, not super rock songs, not Madonna's Like a Virgin is not in the Folk-americana compilation. So that at least they seem kind of folky. Excuse my assistant. Well, he and or she and or they changed the music. But songs that were evocative of folk music, at least, and although I do have some much more pop-oriented songs, and just kind of seem like America. And here an actual song called America that's a folk song in the Folk-americana compilation. What a funny thing. So, you got C major 7. That was not good. No time is my pinky flying away. A minor, C, F. This is 3/4 time, by the way. We'll get to that. And then F sus4. So F sus4 is really 3 open 1/1. 3 open 1/1, please. 3 open 1/1. You're playing it for 3 beats. There is no reason why you can't just do a C7 sus4, which is open 1/1. Open 1/1, please. Open 1/1. That's the favorite thing I do. Is pretending, 1 Adam 12, please. 1 Adam 12. Open 1/1, please. It doesn't mean anything except to me. Entertaining myself once again. So let's see how that sounds in context. So 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3. And I'm doing thumb, down, up, down. For my 3 down. C major 7. A minor. C. L. Here's your F sus4. It's got a nice full song, full sound to it. Then let's do C, F, F, and then just open 1/1. That's got a nice full sound to it. No reason you can't do that. If you can't kind of remember what an F sus4 is in the moment, you just flatten out your finger from your F. You were just playing an F, flatten it out, and do those first 2 strings on that first fret. And the other thing is you can swivel. If you've got a high action on that first fret and it's really hard to flatten out those 2 strings, just swivel around and have 2 fingers there pushing down and swivel right back into an F. Let's try that swivel. C major 7, A minor, C, and an F, swivel back. Now, if you look straight down to the first set of chords for the very first verse, Let Us Be Lovers, and you look straight down from that F dot dot apostrophe dot dot in the intro, straight down, all of a sudden we've lost a couple of dots down there. The whole thing is 3/4 time. So if we lose a couple of dots in the, I could almost point to, I lose my finger, I can't quite point to it. If we lose a couple of dots, there's a pointer right there. So we've got F dot dot apostrophe dot dot up there in the intro. And then all of a sudden we lose a couple of dots down here. If we lose a couple of dots as we go through, that's an artifact of transferring this from Word to a publishing program, and it just decided to eliminate some stuff. Or it could be that I screwed up. But I like to blame it on the computer whenever I can. But it's all 3/4 time. Do, 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 do. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I think they hummed. I can't, obviously you can tell I can't do a good hum. So I do a and sometimes I just won't do it at all. Be lovers, we'll marry our fortunes together. 3 beats, 3 beats. I've got some real estate here in my bag. Now your E minor 7s and A7s are all 3 beats, but this is, your showcase. There was a poll of Rolling Stone readers in 2014, and they thought this was one of Simon and Garfunkel's top 4 songs, 4th best song. And so this is your showcase Simon and Garfunkel song. So you just let that E minor 7 rip. Oops. E. So we bought a pack of cigarettes. Just let it go as long as you want. For our purposes, we'll try to keep it to 3 beats, but you know, it's really nice to showcase those 2 chords and just do it a cappella. And Mrs. Wagner pies, and then pick it up and walk off to look for America. So we're into that second instrumental kind of section that's shaded. 1, 2, and I don't know if you noticed or not, hopefully you're playing, you're not really watching what I'm doing, but when we did the F sus4, I just did the first 2 strings previously. Now I'll actually try to play it, but even that was a little bit clunky. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're in that second shaded section. Like a dream to me now. It took me 4 days. So those first 2 lines, that's all the same as the first verse, but all of a sudden Paul Simon got crazy and started to do this whole G thing, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 measures of G. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. Think of that as the chorus, like all of a sudden he jumped into the chorus, because he repeats that so much at the end. But anyway, it's just a different, really interesting way to construct a song, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now in this interlude, Laughing on the Bus, Playing Games with the Faces, F major 7, of course, Bob, we all know this. 5-5 open open, what a pretty chord. And so you're jumping from there down to that first string, 2nd fret. There's no reason you couldn't play that just how we do the E minor 7. So we bought a pack of cigarettes. You couldn't go laughing on the bus, playing games with the faces. She said the man, the gabardine suit, was a spy. Maybe you'd strum it twice or whatever, but you don't need to do all the strums if you don't want to. But more importantly, we play F major 7 about like in, out of 500 songs, maybe 10 songs max. And I was watching this couple do this the other night on YouTube, not Facebook, not the Google, on YouTube. And this guy was doing B flat major 7, you know, your E minor shape, but coming off of your F note. He was playing B flat major 7, laughing on the bus, playing games with the faces. She said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. It sounds just peachy. And we play B flat major 7 a lot more than we play F major 7. So, you know, it may speak to you want to play F major 7 because we don't play it that often. So this is an opportunity to play it and maybe remember it. Or we play B flat major 7 and that's easier to get to. What were we doing? We're doing America's on C major 7, and then we're jumping to either the 5th fret, or we're just jumping up to an F and layering our fingers out. So that may be easier. Sounds great. It's a great chord, one of my favorite chords. So that's just something to think about there. It's not on the chart anywhere. It's not in the chord diagram, so you would just have to kind of pencil that in yourself. So that's what that is. So where were we? Laughing on the bus. 1, 2, 3. Laughing on the bus. Playing games in the station. With faces. She said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. Everybody's favorite section, by the way. That's in a poll too. I said, be careful, his bow tie's really camel. There's one in my raincoat. We smoked the last one an hour ago. So I looked at the scenery. She read her magazine, and the moon rose. They've all come to look for America. And this, of course, is when the art comes in with the high falsetto. All come to look for America. You know, and I can't do that. All come to look for America. Look for America. Those of you with a lot of breath and can kind of carry the whole thing, that's the idea, of course, but I just don't have it. They've all come to look for America. Paul Simon's America. Kind of some fun stuff to look at. Great song for your repertoire, I think. You know, I always have fun when I play it. Especially Laughing on the Bus. Everybody's favorite. So, anyway, that's America. That's a folk-americana tune. That was on the Bookends album, of course, which you all own, so you know that. Bookends, 1968. Oh my. Then we jump to 1972, and this is a little bit more folk rock. I think Rolling Stone, somebody called this like quintessential 1972 folk rock. And really, it had to be Pure Prairie League's most famous song, I think. Never charted very high. maybe like 28 or something. 60 in Canada. But was really popular in college towns and stations for whatever reason. It was just a fun song. In the mid to late 70s, it was at pretty regular radio play. In my world, anyway. So this whole riff thing. Oh, I kind of forgot that. I hadn't even practiced that. So what is that? What that thing in the opening paragraph is trying to tell you to do is pick your C string, your open C string, and then play a C5, 2 fingers 0, 0, 3, 3. Just, kind of like that there. Just stack up on your first and second string on that third fret and just pick strum. And then, of course, we don't do the whole do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do someday when we grow older. But then there's this whole riff thing. And the riff is just a measure of G. That's all it is. So no matter what I do in the next minute and a half and I explain this, if you don't get it, it's just a measure of G, 4 beats of G. But it is down, down, up, down. So that little upside down V is trying to get you to go up, down with your, pretty clever, up, down with your strum. Down, down. Your hand is below the strings, up, down. Down, down, up, down, 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 down. Down, down twice on F. Twice on C, and we do that whole sequence, 3 times? Yeah, there's a little hesitation after that down, down. Down, down, up, down. And if you're gonna skip that part and just do 4 beats of G. Now, check this out. I see the moon rising. Very similar to our Bad Moon Rising riff, except for that up-down thing. Let me see, with the exception of the C5 in the beginning, if you do that, which you don't need to, and B minor 7, where in the world does that show up? Got me. Maybe it'll show up somewhere. Maybe I need to update the chart. There is an E flat. Yeah, there's some stuff missing from the last line. So, so everything, it's G, F, C, A minor 7, and a D. So they're all chords that are easily accessible to a young and old. I can see why you think you belong to me. And it's just, a little bit of rhythmic changes here and there with 2 beats, 2 beats. And then there will be that riff after each of the verses. Yeah, there's something to show you too. There's a couple more things to talk about. But we get to the end, and if you remember the song at all, they get all the way to the end, and then all of a sudden there's this beautiful picking pattern. Falling in and out of practice, either inside, outside, 3, 2, 4, 1. You can practice any 4-beat picking pattern just to change up, but you can continue the strum. So it's 4 beats. Falling in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love with you. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I keep falling in and out. Is your pinky wedded to your ring finger of love? Now that E flat is not represented up there in the chord charts, and that of course is open 3, 3, 1, and you've got your G formed already. You're playing your G there. You got to get the E flat. If you keep your ring finger planted, then you just have to rearrange your index and your middle, with your middle coming up, index going back. Oh, that's a sweet. And all of a sudden you've got open 3, 3, 1. Otherwise you're jumping the whole thing and all 3 fingers are jumping, which you don't need to do. You can just do 2 of them. You were you playing G sus4? Yeah, you were playing G sus4. So you could jump both your ring and your pinky up 1 string and then bring back. If that makes more sense to you, digitomatically. Word? But I tend to just jump all 3, but anchoring your ring finger makes the most sense. And we slow it down there. Of love with you. And the D7 is also not pictured. Shame on me. Any D7 will do. And a G. So let's go through that first verse. 1. We already did the first verse. Let's do the first verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see why you think you belong to me. 2 beats, 2 beats. Never tried to make you think. Let you see one thing for yourself. Now you're off. So your B flat, of course, you can play as a G minor 7 with someone else. And your C is available to you as your normal C, of course. But you could slide that whole thing up to the 3rd fret. Alone. And then you got a B flat coming up, so you slide it right back. That is so sweet. That's like my favorite thing in the world to do when I see a B flat, C, B flat combo. So anyway, but now your 2nd line, but now you're off with someone else. Now I'm alone. You see, I thought that I might keep you for mine. 2 beats on D. Push out that pinky is wetted. It's ready. Well, no, you might be playing your D differently. So you got your wetted pinky on your D. Put that pinky down. Bring it back. If you're playing it like I do, with the bottom 3 fingers of your hand, then you just push your pinky out. So it's 2 beats, 2 beats, and then a single strum D, 2, 3, 4. Ain't it what you want to do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer, if I do. 2, 3, 4. way we should turn together, slide it or alone. Slide it back, I can never see what's right, what is wrong. Will it take too long to see? So you do your D. Will it is a cappella, tacit. Will it? And then you just have scratched out or muted string, 2 4-beat strums. Take too long to see. And then you go back up to the chorus, Amy. I could have labeled that chorus better, so that's the first thin shaded section. Amy, what you want to do. Let's do that again. Let's see. From I can never see what's right or what is wrong. That is, what is that? 6 lines down from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines down from the top. 1, 2, 3. I can never see what's right or what is wrong. Will it take too long to see? Amy, what you want to do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do. 2, 3, 4, and you drop them down to the shaded section that says instrumental, which is your opening riff. 2, 3, 4. Kathy Mellow's group has players that can do this riff, so having this long instrumental makes sense. Slide it and back. 2, 3, 4. Amy, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do. 2, 3, 4. Now it's come to what you want. You've had your way. All the things you thought before faded into gray. Can you see which way we should turn together or alone? If it's one of us, I'm sure we both will see. Won't you look at me and tell me, Amy, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do. Longer if I do now. Amy, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do. I keep falling in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love with you. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I keep falling slow down in and out of love with you. Jazz Amy from the OUJ Folk-americana collection. Who's got questions? Dun, 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 dun. That'll keep you awake tonight. Dun, 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 dun. Well, if there's an artist of our time who is like quintessential folk-americana, if it's not Willie Nelson, maybe it's John Prine. Maybe. I know we just did this. I understand that. I took a look at it and thought, well, we just did this. We don't need to do that. And I thought, there is no harm in doing something twice in reasonably close succession. So I said, what the heck, let's do it. We're going to do the whole darn collection. Let's just do it. And then that's the way it's going to be. So there. You'll recall from that fascinating session we did a couple weeks ago, this intro comes up in a couple different places. Make me an angel, yeah, so that would be the chorus. So that second shaded section at the end comes up again where you do, excuse me, 3 beats of A, and then a D. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, D. A, 2, 3, D. And then the E plays really well as an E7. But if you want to play it as an E, more power to you. And then what else happens? That's about it. Just a real nice song, 1971 from John Prine's John Prine album, oddly enough. And he did Souvenirs. Old people just grow lonesome. Somebody really liked Souvenirs, and so they said, John, why don't you write another song about the older generation? He thought he'd done everything he could. But he did like the idea of writing a song from a perspective of a younger woman musing about feeling like she was older than she actually was. So that's how this all came to be. Carly Simon covered this, and her producer or whoever was doing the record said, no, we're not doing it. And John Denver covered this, and don't know either one of those versions. I guess Carly's finally came out after covering it in 71 or something, laying down the tracks, finally came out in some compilation album of hers in 1995 or something like that. And then Bonnie Raitt thinks this is one of the most important songs she ever recorded. And I agree. So there. Kathy Mello does a beautiful job with this. If you ever get to hear her sing it, her roommates gave her the album. So she's, it's like not playing fair. Her roommates gave her the album in college, Bonnie Raitt's album in college. So she absorbed it into the pores of her skin and her being. And so she just, she just does the whole Bonnie Raitt thing on this. It's unbelievable. Anyway, what else? There's something else. That's it. I think it's pretty straightforward. So it's 4/4 time, except for that intro and where that shows up at the end of the verses, where it's still 4/4 time, but the fourth beat is a D. And then it rolls into 3/4 time just when you play the E or the E7. 1, 2, 3. So what are we doing here? 1, 2, 3. Dreams were thunder. in this living, just a hard way to go. 8, 2, 3, D. There's flies in the kitchen, I can hear them buzzing. I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. How the hell can a person go to work in the morning, come home in the evening, have nothing to say? Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living, just a hard way to go. To believe in this living, it's just a hard way to go. It's funny, Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. I used to sing it, Make me an angel who flies. It killed me to say that flies from Montgomery. I used to sing it as who flies from Montgomery. And then I thought, okay, from the perspective of this woman and the whole ambiance of the song, the language should be that. So there we go. So much for the King's English and my edits. So there. How many songs have we done? Oh my God. Don't tell me we're at Atlantic City already. It's 2:15. People are nodding off. We'll knock this out pretty quick. It's got a couple of little things that you might want to know. Other than Bruce recorded it in the Nebraska album, 1982, on his little 8-track, 16-track recorder in his bedroom. Said this album cost him about $1,000 to produce. So this was that E minor G, where you start with the E minor and then you go to G, and they're all brackets all over the damn place. And so much of the song, maybe 80% of it, is a combination of this E minor, 2 beats each, or if you do it, so it'd be E minor, G. Or if you do the bracketed version, the way it's trying to tell you, somebody who put this chord chart together is trying to tell you, down, down, up, down, 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 switch on the up, down, down, up. So it's G, E minor. So your finger comes off, or your whole hand changes to the G. And if you finish the strum, and then the same with the C, down, down, up on the C. But if you keep your middle finger planted where you would form your G, and it hides behind your ring finger on that first string, and then you just keep go from C to G to E minor to G to C to G. Let me see if I can do this. I know we're going into overtime, but that's life in a big city. I had a lot to talk about today. I missed you all. That's what the deal was. I missed you all. So you're going from E minor to G, keeping your middle finger planted, C to
What
G.
song are we on?
You're so cute. You're so cute. I get so excited about these songs. Atlantic City, of course. It's only 4 chords. We're almost there. We're almost there. So E minor to G. I knew what I was looking at, even if you didn't. And then keep your middle finger planted. Put your ring finger down where you would play your C. So you've got 2 fingers just lined up on the same string. C to G. E minor, G, C, G. So strummed, that might be 2 beats each. E minor, G, C, G. Strummed as a part of a pattern, down, down, up, down. Minor, G, C, G. Changing on the up, changing on the up. Now we get to a point where we do D, E minor. With the E minor has a slash next to it. Where's that at, Bob? Where's it? Like right here where it says D, E minor, stop. You can see the little, trying to circle it there in the chorus. At the end of the first line of the chorus, you go. Just do an up strum on the E minor. Like that. And then you start over again. And then there's someplace else, there's a couple places where you've got a full, all of a sudden, hey, there's 4 beats of D. That's going to shake up your world after going over and over again. And I think, yeah, that's it. A couple places where you do that D, E minor. Oh yeah, after the break, after the middle of the page, here in this shaded section here, all of a sudden you've got C for 4 beats, E minor 4 beats, and then a C-D combo. Play that however you want. Okay, that's it. So anyway, the band copied this, and Levon Helm played it in concert and maybe recorded it too after he left the band. So it had a life of its own in the whole, that world of the band. And that's all we got to say about that. And I don't need that. That's what we need right there. So I just play it through real quick. So I've got my G, right? And I'm going, put my pinky up there, forming my E minor. Doesn't matter that my G is formed because the index finger is blocked by the pinky. The pinky takes precedent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they blew up the chicken man in Philly last night. Now they blew up his house too. Down on the boardwalk, they're getting ready for a fight. Gonna see what them racket boys can do. Now there's trouble busting in from that's a fact. Maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair up pretty. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Well, I got a job and trying to put my money away. I got debts that no honest man can pay. So I drew what I had from the Central Trust. I bought us 2 tickets on that Coast City bus. Well, now everything dies. Maybe that's a fact. Maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair up pretty. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Now, love may have died and love may be cold. With you forever I'll stay. Going out where the sand's turning to gold. Put on your stockings, baby, the night's getting cold. Maybe everything dies, maybe that's a fact. Maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Now I've been looking for a job, but it's hard to find. Down here it's just winners and losers. Don't get caught on the wrong side of that line. Well, I'm tired of coming out on this losing end. So honey, last night I met this guy. I'm gonna do a little favor for him. Well, now everything dies. Maybe that's a fact. Maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair up pretty. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City, all the way to the bottom. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. That was more than 1 at 1 right there is what that was. Holy moly cow. Overtime with more than 1 at 1. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. Anybody have questions? We're good? We're good with our pinky? Wetting our pinky to our ring finger right there. It's right there. Right there. Right there. Yep. All good? Everybody good?
All good. Thank you, Bob.
No, thank you. I mean it.
Yeah, great lesson, Bob. Great workout. Good practice. New
Missed you,
stuff.
missed you all. Glad you're here. And
Mm.
whatever I screwed up, you can watch me screw it up again on instant replay. So there you go.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you
Thank
Yeah,
so much.
you.
Thank you.
thank you. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
Bob.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Nice to see you, Karen. Thanks for
Bye.
checking. Thanks for checking.
Bye.
Karen, you doing all right out there?
Yeah, thank you. It was great.
Okay, good. No questions? You're good?
Not yet.
That's pretty much what you can expect from every single session. So there you go. See you
Thanks.
soon. I'm gonna do something here. I don't know what. There it is. I'm gonna stop.